We've all had a conflict with some sort of individual in our time, most likely. And it always seems that the one you're getting in an argument with or like a conflict with has some sort of trouble within their life. It might not necessarily be true for all, but most of the time. And usually they attack you because of something that you have that they want. And in this case, in the sense that good guys always finish last isn't necessarily true. By the quote by Walker, it's not true that nice guys finish last. Nice guys are winners before the game even starts. And today I want to tell you how that relates to some situations like when Batman versus the Joker, me and one of my classmates, and as well as Snow White and the Witch. So it relates towards Batman and the Joker because the Joker doesn't seem like he's got a lot going for him. He seems a lot like really troubled. He's always got like this past that doesn't seem right. When he told Batman the story on how he got his smile, like his permanent little smile, that shows that he had a troubled past. And Batman, on the other hand, as shown in the movie, has such like a high life. That he has a lot of friends, just like he's got things going for him, like he had it planned out. And although sometimes like the Joker had it over him, like he could have won, Batman still had a lot for him. Like he had his friends, family, and things like that. When it comes to Snow White and the Witch, it's kind of the same thing. When the witch would sing or ask the mirror, like mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all, and the mirror told her it was a girl named Snow White. She kind of got insulted. She thought that beauty and the riches were what was necessary, like what kind of made her stronger than the rest and had more power overall. And but Snow White had like that personality, that and the gratitude from people. Like she had relationships with the 7 dwarves, and that was like a really strong bond. And unlike Snow White, the witch didn't have any of that. She didn't have people who liked her. She just like had a lot of trouble within her life. And it just showed that Snow White did eat the apple, yeah, so the witch won on that part. But Snow White had a lot going for her. Like she had her Prince Charming, and she had the 7 dwarves, and because of that, like when she woke up kind of thing, she just had stuff left over for her. The witch didn't have anything. And then in regards to me and my classmate, they were getting upset because we had a situation where we had gotten in a small argument about something small, and my friends sided with me, but they all said the same thing, like the personality of my other friend wasn't very strong in a sense, like it wasn't like nice. She wasn't really nice. There you go. She was really rude to everyone, but she had occasional times where she was really nice. So, yeah. And so they she tried to put me down, and she actually did. I felt like terrible at one point, just because of things she said, but since I had my friends to back me up, it really picked me up, and she ended up losing all of us as friends. So yeah, so I don't know, as my interpretation out of all that, it just seemed that with all those situations, even if the good guy did lose, they always somehow won because they got picked up, they had those relationships to help, and they always had something behind them to support them.
Stephanie, I thought that you had a good preview and it was well organized, so you had all the structural things pretty sound. I think on the first couple of points you had a harder time figuring out how they were connected to the point that you were making than they ought to have been. You had a relatively clear thesis statement. Toward the end of the speech, I think it started to make a little bit more sense how all of these things tied in together. And so, overall, I think it was generally successful when it comes to the content issues. There are some presentation issues that I think work really well. Your voice projects well. I think you've got good variety in your voice, and the pacing seems about right. The nonverbal, the visual factors are the places where you're going to have to do a little bit of work. Sometimes your gestures are purposeful, but they frequently look a little nervous. There's the hand sort of thing, and I notice that your hands are up quite a bit. It's almost like you've got T-Rex hands. They're up here, and you've always got them in front of you, and so and because they're up so high, it's so much more noticeable when you do something that is nervous with them, like putting them together like this repeatedly, or playing with the string on your jacket or something along those lines. Whereas if you have your hands down occasionally and you're gesturing purposefully here, but maybe occasionally your hands do something a little bit anxious, if it's down lower, it's not quite right in front of us and we're not going to notice it as much. So maybe that would be a way to address that issue. Your facial expressions, I think you're more animated as you go along. I think you do a pretty good job at that. It was a little inconsistent in the opening part of the speech. Your eye contact is not very solid. I know you probably feel like you're looking up, but you're looking out at the audience. You're not engaging the audience. It's like you can just watch while you're speaking, and you're thinking about what you're talking about. You are engaged in what you're talking about, but you are not connecting with the audience at all. It's just you're facing the direction of the audience, but you are not engaging the audience. And I think when you watch, you'll see what I'm talking about. The other thing that I thought was noticeable is your posture. Look, you've got very good posture while you're standing there speaking, but your feet are locked into one spot the whole time, and it's sort of like that's all the anxiety thing. I'm going to hang on to this spot. I'm not going to move from it, and that's just the way it's going to be. And you don't look very relaxed and comfortable speaking as a consequence. And you want to put the audience at ease while you're speaking, and so you need to relax a little bit too. And those are the places that the anxiety issues come out. Otherwise, like I said, I thought your voice was pretty solid. Your facial expressions were animated for the most part. Could be a little bit more consistent. And you had some nice ideas, and they were very well organized. I appreciated that. Thank you.